Obviously, this is going to get sent to all of the guests. That's a joke. Bitch, get a life. Podcasting is really hard. We'll see. At least we can laugh at ourselves.
Live from Dallas, it's Kevin Courier.
Yeah. Woo. Thank you, Allie, for having me on your podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Allie's probably favorite guy friend at Georgetown. And I was requested by a lot of her audience members to be on this podcast, so we have high expectations.
Yeah, and by audience members, he means himself, but here we are.
So I listened to most of Scott's.
Did you like Scott?
Yeah, that was good. I think I would have done a better job if I was the first male, but we don't have to get into it.
Honestly, though, you should have been my first guy because, sorry, Scott, but like you were my first really close guy friend.
Yeah, and like out of all the guy friends, I would say I'm probably like the funniest, most attractive, smartest, and most humble. Like,
yeah, definitely the most humble. Good call on that. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Also, that was super cool of you to just like dive into the intro. I didn't even have to tell you what to do.
I'm a natural. Like you said earlier, I'm probably going to take over your podcast.
That was a joke, and I'm going to need you to step down. Okay? That's enough. So my parents, they're like not allowed to listen to the podcast because like I don't want to get kicked out of the house, but I like keep them updated with who I'm interviewing, whatever. But I feel like I've told you this before. For some reason, my dad has really latched on to you. He really likes you. So good. So good work. It's just that you're from Dallas. He likes the Dallas Cowboys, which you like the Cowboys too.
Mm-hmm.
And you play golf, and like you're generally respectful towards women. These seem to be all qualities my dad's in favor of.
Respectful towards women. Yeah, if I was it'd be a great one.
Also, I told him once about how your mom is really cool, in my opinion. Wasn't she a nurse?
Yeah.
And then she owned boxing gyms after, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his mom was a nurse. And so I think
Wow.
Am I scaring you?
No, I actually told my mom today, out of all like the girls, honestly, like not even at Georgetown, but I've ever met, I said that you were the most like her in terms of like your guys' mannerisms and like sense of humor and stuff. And she found that
alarming. She like, stay the fuck away from that girl, Kevin.
She's like, Kevin, you got to get the ring now type.
Well, so my dad's already given you his blessing. So I guess, like, you probably should get the ball rolling, Kev.
I'll get a wedding planner on the phone.
I'm not going to lie, Kevin. I want to go out to lunch with your mom. Just the two of us.
No, move in weekend.
Can I meet them?
Yeah, they would love to meet you. Yeah, okay. Like I promised you, that will happen move in weekend.
Okay. I'm going to.
Don't be too nervous.
No. I'm, like, so excited. This is actually super. Oh my gosh. I can't. I'm so excited.
I'm scared.
I'm so excited. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Allie, calm down. It's fine. Which is, you're like have a really good situation, I feel like, in my contacts, because your profile picture is 10 out of 10. It's me jumping on you in the women's bathroom. It's at like 4:30 a.m. in this like very slutty dress, and you're wearing some sort of a muscle tee that you've crafted all by your lonesome. And there's also a bottle of mouthwash featured in like the lower right quadrant of the photo. So it's amazing. Oh, and your contact name is Really Hot Friend.
I made that, yeah.
Yeah, you did make that. So I have a question.
Okay.
What would it be like if we were quarantining together?
Okay, this is not in like a romantic way at all, but we would be watching a lot of rom-coms just because we both enjoy rom-coms.
Fully agree.
I also think there'd be a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
A lot of talks, like fun talks, but also like a lot of deep talks, because I feel like we have like both sides to our friendship.
I agree. So I think the nights would start out like we would watch some romantic comedy. I think I would be making really inappropriate jokes.
Yep.
You'd probably join in. But somehow I'd always sneak in with something just super off color, and then you would just ultimately get quiet. And then we'd have to continue watching in silence for a few minutes until the cycle restarted itself.
Let's say we would mess with a lot of SIGEPs.
Oh, we do them dirty. I actually feel like I'm in your frat, but we can get to that later. Do you know what I forget who I said this to. So you know how you guys are all brothers because you're in the frat, whatever. I feel like the creepy uncle of your fraternity.
I see it. Yeah, yeah.
I would like to acknowledge that you silent laugh. And I get really annoyed when my guests, if you could work on this,
Okay.
when they silent laugh, because then the people, my class, doesn't know that you are affirming my humor. Ooh, nailed it. I also feel like we would go to sleep super late, but not on purpose.
What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, like,
you'd
we'd be
up,
just like,
nine?
yeah. I
Like
think-
the night of our formal when it was like 5 a.m.
and we were like, oh shit. What? But yeah, we had a good time and we stayed up so late.
Yeah, that was actually like so much fun. Like, that's probably like one of the most memorable nights that I've had.
I totally agree. So the topic of this episode is movies in general, and more specifically, Kevin has this, it's like a pretty adorable hobby, if I may say so myself, of watching movies about people finding happiness.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Would you
Oh, yeah.
would you like to speak on that?
I don't know, like in today's society, it's pretty easy to get caught up on materialistic things. And everybody at school is like always talking about what job they're going to get, how much money they're going to make. And I don't know, like, yes, I want to make a lot of money and stuff, but thinking about that stresses me out. Watching these movies that focus on like what it really means to be happy kind of just keeps me grounded. And reminds me of like the bigger picture of the important things in life.
I like that. And just, I mean, before we really get into it, I have many favorite memories of us. One particularly like great one was we were in the student center, HFAM, at this table and you were studying your accounting textbook. Do you remember this day?
Maybe if you keep
I'll
going.
so I was like on one naturally, but I was like, do you want to be an accountant? And then you were like, kind of really shut me down with that question, which was kind of rude because you're in the business school and it was fair game. And you go, no. I'm going to be something much more interesting.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even know what. And you were like, something much more interesting, like consulting. And so that was really funny. Good job. And I think I really banged out, bamboozled the response because I said in a really inappropriate voice for like a noon Sunday in the middle of a crowd of people. But I was like, Kevin, stop talking dirty to me here. And yeah, that's a fond memory I have of us. You would be a good consultant. You're a people person, but you're an introvert.
Yeah.
Like, can really like turn it on almost as much as you can turn me on.
Oh. Let's save this for after the podcast.
Okay, for another recording. What are some of your favorite movies?
I would say Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which I've actually only seen once, but when I watched it, it was awesome. Dead Poet Society, if you've ever seen that. Yeah.
Fucking love that. Oh, Captain, my captain. Okay.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another really great one. So Dead Poet Society, I really like that one because it's kind of like, you know, I went to an all guys school and we all have like aspirations to like make a lot of money, but it's kind of directly in line with kind of how I feel about, I don't know, the rest of my life. And like what I do is that, yeah, we're prepared to be successful and yeah, we want to be successful, but there's always something more, and like appreciate the small things in life, appreciate the learning rather than just like taking a class, getting a grade to get a good job type thing.
Yeah, that movie is amazing. And I think one thing that really sticks out in that movie, at least with the characters that are super facing that pressure that you're talking about, a lot of times it comes from their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you identify with that specific aspect of that or not so much?
So actually, like, I don't really like at all. I mean, my parents have been like so supportive and so great, especially my dad, just because like he's made it very clear. I guess he kind of had that relationship with his father growing up. And so yeah, he has not been that way with me at all. Basically, he wants me to do whatever I want that makes me happy and not care about the money. And so I've kind of had that in the back of my mind and like whatever I end up doing or am interested in doing. So
yeah. And what about your mom or me? Since we're interchangeable.
Yeah, no, my mom is like pretty much the same way. They're like very good. They're very similar, very good together. But yeah, my mom is basically kind of just like giving me the humor side of my childhood. My dad kind of sets the rules and my mom just kind of lets me do whatever I want. She's like, here to support me, whatever I choose.
That's nice, in my opinion. Robin Williams is the heart and soul of that movie. And he is an actor. I think he could be one of my like favorite actors, artists, whatever you want to call him of all time. Like, I think he is beyond talented.
Well, like in all of his movies, like I don't know if it's like just he's so good at playing those roles or it's like him like personally, but like look at Good Will Hunting. He's
Favorite
always
movie.
yeah, he's always there, like focusing on like the important things in life, surrounded by like these successful people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just like, he's my favorite probably of all time.
Oh my gosh, we have so much in common. You should like ask me to formal or something. So Good Will Hunting, can we talk about that for a sec?
Yeah.
I would say that movie completely changed my whole thinking. I don't know if it's my favorite scene, but the scene that like really stuck with me was the park bench scene when Robin Williams is telling Matt Damon he just got a Snapchat. Who is she?
It's actually Peyton. It's Peyton.
Are you still talking to her?
No, well, she Snapchatted me today because she saw a video of whenever we got stuck in the elevator and I was yelling at Owen. Yeah, and it was really funny. Don't worry.
Remember when I like set you up to have a threesome? Because I do.
Yep, I remember. It could still happen. Who knows?
Yeah, well, let's see where the wind blows. Okay, so back to better topics here. Okay, yeah, basically the park bench scene. What he says to Will Hunting, Will Hunting's an orphan. You think I know the first thing about your life because I've read Oliver Twist. And he's like, you think you know about love just because you've read Shakespeare. You think you know what war is like because you've read so-and-so book. And that whole way of thinking, honestly, it informed so much of like why I wanted to take a gap year. And I didn't want to live a life full of things that I could just read about in a book. And it informed my whole sort of like obsession with experiential learning and how I think it just completely shapes your mind in a new way.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a very common theme, I feel like, in a lot of like the greatest movies. Like the other one, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, that's pretty directly showing that. Like he's literally skipping school, skipping the stuff he learned in school to just like experience life.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And I think that's kind of the point of Dead Poets Society too. What about, so I guess Secret Life of Walter Mitty, the guy is older.
Yeah, so he's kind of having like a midlife crisis where like basically he's getting yelled at his job because the cover of Time magazine was mailed to him, like the picture, and it was blank. And the whole purpose of the movie is like he leaves his job to go out and find the photographer to get the picture. And when he finally finds the photographer, he's up in this mountain and he had like traveled the world basically for like, I think like several months or something like that. And when he finally finds the photographer, he's like, this is the picture right here. And they're on top of a mountain and like,
oh,
they
wow.
take a photo. Yeah.
I just got the chills. Oh, I feel like we've sort of distilled down a general theme in that these movies that we love, that you love, how do I explain? People are stepping outside of their normal routines and what society normally expects of them in search of something more.
Yeah.
And the moment they find it is like orgasmic. It's like movie gold. And you watch it and you want to cry and laugh and do all the things in one singular moment.
Oh, yeah. That basically summarizes how I feel about it. I'm kind of going to go off on a tangent right now. So we can just, but I've come to this crazy realization, you know, like late night shower thoughts, you have these mind blowing, I don't want to know your shower thoughts, but for the normal person.
They're only about you.
Okay, that's okay. But yeah, I had this like crazy thought that this is not sexual, but it starts off with reproduction. Out of all the sperm cells, there was one out of the millions that fertilized the egg. And then like I was born. So just first off, there's a miracle. The fact that I was born in America, miracle. The fact that I was born healthy, miracle. I was like financially stable family. I'm going to like one of the most like prestigious universities in the world. Like basically anything bad that can happen to me in the grand scheme of things, like really does not matter just because of all the blessings around me in my life. That kind of ruined the moment. Up to this point in my life, I've been like so much luckier than 99.9% of the people who have ever lived. And so that just kind of put things into perspective for me this quarantine of like how happy I really should be. So yeah, moving into like the happiest I've ever been. There's two memories that come to mind. The first one is playing golf with my dad, probably like 5th or 6th grade. And it's just me and him, like the sun was setting. We're just walking down the fairway and it was just like really pretty, just us hanging out. And so that was just really peaceful and I was just genuinely happy. And then honestly, this past weekend at the lake with friends and family, I would just wake up every morning, have my coffee, read a book, watch the sunrise, and then we'd go tubing all day, come back, I don't know, like start drinking. That's always fun. And then make s'mores or something. It's just like that wholesome, like time together. And so like the common themes I see in both those memories are me being with family and like friends, the people I love, and also just like living simply. And
Yeah.
I think living simply is the key to happiness, because as soon as you start pursuing those like materialistic things, that's when like you're never going to be satisfied and you'll never be happy.
Yeah, that is true, because it's like once you start that pursuit of things outside of your control, there's always something more. There's always somebody with something more, or something better, something hotter, whatever it is. There's always somebody with something else that you're going to start wanting. Yeah, no, so I totally agree with you. And those are very sweet memories. Also, I requested your little sister on Instagram. She accepted and didn't follow me back.
Wow. We're going to have to change that. She's got to keep the ratio.
Don't fucking worry, because I unfollowed immediately.
Jeez, that's heartless.
It is heartless. She didn't know how important I am to you. She didn't know how much I beat you in basketball. Because if she did, she would have been like, oh, mad respect. I have to follow this girl back.
Actually, why did you never tell me that you played basketball? And then like I was just in Yates one day and then you come and like you're actually good, like really good.
Wait, can you tell everybody a little bit more about my basketball skills, please?
So Allie played AAU basketball. We played not horse. Nope, I did not misspeak. We played whores.
We have to spell it out.
WHORES.
Okay,
Whores.
thank you. We played.
I don't know, like, did you beat me, or I know it was like super close.
It was super close. I don't remember who won.
But yeah, she surprised me. She was really good at rebounding and boxing me out. She seemed to really enjoy boxing me out. Even when the ball wasn't even like up for a rebound, she just kept boxing me out. That's a silent laugh, Allie.
Sorry. No silent laughs here. Yeah, you completely exposed me, but playing co-ed pickup basketball is my favorite kind of foreplay.
Ooh.
Seriously,
Ooh, baby.
Oh, baby. I'm not kidding. I think if I invited like a group of fit, athletic individuals over and I split the teams so they were like generally even and I made like couples guard each other, I think everybody would get laid by the end of the night. I'm just saying.
That's a good idea.
Right?
Plus with your matchmaking skills.
Do you think I have good matchmaking skills?
Yeah, I think you do. I feel like you've kind of like assisted quite a few relationships. 3.
I actually did. Yeah, there were. I don't know what it is about me. That's your cue to tell me something about myself.
Oh yeah, I think you're just like really good at.
Thank you.
Um,
That's enough.
Yeah. And then we get into the rom-coms, because I think that's what like interested me in rom-coms, because happiness comes from like your relationships with others and like finding love, how you treat others.
All right, wait, but I'm gonna sorry to interrupt here, but I just want you to know every female listener just fell in love with you. Now continue.
There's a little bit of strategy to like how
His Snapchat will be in the description.
Please do that, actually. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, classic.
Oh, such
Hitch.
a good one.
I know you like Hitch.
I love Hitch. Okay, good job.
Proposal and Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. Now they're just solid.
That is a good movie.
Yeah.
Should we take a deep, penetrative dive into the romantic comedy world?
Let's do it.
Take it away, cowboy. Oh, I can give mine. Actually, I have a movie I want you to watch if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
About Time. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh.
Is there anybody like famous in it?
Rachel McAdams. Highly recommend. It's about people find. I actually think you would love this movie. I'm not gonna lie, and it's on Netflix. God, I'm good. You're gonna like it. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I think is like the classic romantic comedy. Okay, The Proposal. Love that one. Like she's his boss, but like somehow he's still in charge. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a weird superior. Now we're getting into my sexual preferences. We don't need
Your
to get
sexual
into
fantasy.
Yeah, let's not get into that. Okay, so Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah, I should have said that on my list, because that's one of those movies where I can literally watch it like 10 times, like back to back to back, and just it never gets old.
Same. Let's say I'm having the worst day and all I want to do is laugh. That is the movie. Like,
100%.
Yeah, it never gets old. Also, want to know what million I decided? Vince Vaughn would play you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That Vince Vaughn. I've been told that I look similar to Vince Vaughn.
You're hotter.
Oh, Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
But my dad's sense of humor is 100% Vince Vaughn, and then I kind of look like Vince Vaughn, so it's like actually I don't know. It's in the family,
Actually,
I
are
guess.
you saying that I need both you and your father?
Oh, calm down.
No, that was just a joke.
I'm on Netflix right now pulling up a movie that I'm going to tell you about because you are exact like to a T the girl in the movie, and I'm going to tell you about it, but like in a funny way. Like
Okay, just say it.
okay, the movie is called The Wrong Missy.
Are you? I'm Kevin.
No, in a good way.
Kevin.
You're 100%.
How is that a good thing?
No, because you're so like funny and like out there like that girl. I mean that.
That girl is fucking insane. I watched that movie and I was like, I can't even laugh at this because she's batshit crazy.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
almost mad at you right now. I'm mad at you now.
I shouldn't have said like to a T because it's not, but like I mean that in like a good way. Like that's the type of sense of humor that like you're never bored in a relationship with you, I feel like that.
Because you're never in a relationship.
My God.
It's fine. I'll recover. Do you have anything else you want to say about that?
I mean, you also kind of remind me of Jennifer Aniston mixed with Cameron Diaz mixed with Kate Upton. Yeah, I think that
that should about cover it. Okay, she's actually like a sociopath in that movie. I literally just called you a hot Vince Vaughn, and no,
I don't know.
But you just called me. No, first of all, nobody knows her name. Second of all, nobody fucking cares what her name is. Are you saying it's like exaggerated?
Yeah, 100%. Like, because at the end of the day, like, they end up falling in love, and it's like, I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but there's like a deep, like, actual connection, but like, it's funny and awkward. Like,
okay, I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
Yeah, I meant it as a compliment.
All right, well, thank you, Vince Vaughn. So kind of you.
So for you, I feel like the biggest thing, I don't know, in relationships for you going forward is going to be like guys who like aren't enough for you. If anything in a relationship that's going to cause you to break up, it's going to be the guy that's just like baggage or like a weight, I feel like. Yeah, because I feel like you've got a very big personality. And I mean that in like the best way possible. And you like intellectual, like stimulating conversation.
Well, thank you.
Or sorry, my thing's tangled right now. I'm trying to untangle it.
Your dick?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just 24 inches of it's a tangled mess
wrapped around your leg.
1 sec.
I don't know if you feel this way. I definitely feel this way about like college guys. I get like, I have this in my head that they would like never want to commit to me, I guess. And I almost feel like going for a guy who has like a really big social personality and like a commanding presence and is charismatic and all that stuff, like they would just be even less likely. Do you know what I'm saying? To actually want to be with me.
Yeah, I think
know.
It's tough. So freshman year of college, I feel like every guy has like the same mentality of just, okay, college is just basically like freshman year, hook up with a bunch of girls. Like you've got all the freedom in the world. But also then I think sometimes the guys with the biggest personalities also may just be putting on a front, like, and those are the guys that maybe would want a relationship the most. I think there's two sides to it.
That's fair. What about you? So you said your ideal girl is like you. What sort of like qualities are you thinking?
Biggest thing for me that I've kind of come to realize is people that not only easily talk to, but like actually have like smart, like intellectual conversations with. I don't know. I'd say first, like they got to be smart, athletic, ideally, just because that's something in like my life, and then like funny. Like I would say those are the top three.
I can see you with somebody like that. Because here's what I think when I think of you. Like, she has to be able to do both in a way. You know what I mean? Like how you like, I think, to have like serious intellectual conversations. Like one of your main hobbies is this like deep searching for happiness situation. But at the same time, I think you know how to like have a good time. You know how to work a room, but in a way that still brings you joy. I don't know if that makes sense. Like when you're talking to people, even though like maybe you're naturally more introverted, it's not disingenuous. Like I think you actually really value connecting with people. Yeah. And I think somebody who also values that would be your little match. So
this was actually like very helpful for me growing and finding out what I want.
Yeah, no, I think this is actually good. I think you've challenged me. All right, well, thanks so much for coming on, Kevin. This was fantastic.
Thank you for having me. I got a lot out of it. I actually grew as a person, and I think I will be taking over the next episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
We don't have to get into it, but
okay. Well, then I'm really looking forward to lunch with your mom. Okay. Goodbye.